Hi guys, my name's Adam. What's your name?
Oh, I'm Brian, Adam. Nice to
Brian,
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And
Amanda.
oh, hi Amanda. Nice to meet you. So how do you guys know Hardcastle here?
Well, these are my private photography clients. They've flown in from different provinces. I often have clients from overseas as well, international.
Oh.
I'm sure you do though.
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time.
So where do your clients fly in from, Adam?
Oh, international.
Yeah.
Nanaimo, Parksville, you know.
Vancouver?
No, not quite that far, but international. You know. I've had a few.
Yeah. Well, I guess, you're probably a lot more affordable than I am.
No. Well, how much do you charge?
I charge $900 a day.
Oh, yeah, that's what I charge
Oh, is
too.
it? Yeah, no, I charge US dollars.
Well, I'm thinking of changing.
All right, yeah.
I'm a bit cheap.
But not easy.
It's easy too.
It's easy and cheap, alright.
Yeah, but just make sure you don't be like poaching my clients on this trip.
Oh, Gavin, I wouldn't do a thing like that.
No, because that would be improper, right?
It would be.
So off we went to a place called Mount 5040, which involves a hemorrhoid-inducing drive on one of the gnarliest dirt roads on Vancouver Island.
Oh, I tell you what, Brian, I am glad that is over.
That was a rough ride.
That was rough as assholes.
Hey, Brian, talk about rough. Have you signed his waiver form yet?
Waiver? What's this about?
Right, yes. As a Fototripper client, you are required to sign a liability waiver and a CPR consent form.
Liability? Okay, CPR, like mouth to mouth?
Yeah, well, actually, it's ass to mouth.
Oh, who's ass?
Right, so we've got off this awful bone-shaking road and we're at Mount 5040. The clouds are lifting. We might get a little bit of low-lying fog. Conditions could be absolutely perfect. Let's hit the trail and see if we can get some brilliant shots, eh?
Cheers.
God, give you some tips if you need any. You know, just ask me.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
And the shameless poaching begins.
So the trail up to 5040 it's just like this. It's steep all the way. And I did it a couple of weeks ago, but all I had then was a small camera bag and a few snacks. And even then I was gasping because I'm so out of shape. But today I've got a full pack on because we're going to spend the night up there. I've got a tent and all the paraphernalia that you need. So asphyxiation is definitely on the cards.
Uncle Grumpy set quite the brisk pace, which just made me look like an asthmatic orangutan.
It's supposed to be fun.
At some point it does become fun, trust me. I'm a doctor. So the reason why we planned on coming today is because the forecast was for fog and then periods of clear towards sunset and towards sunrise with a chance of astro around about 1 a.m. And what we're after is these clouds that you see here in the background. What we want is to be above that, so we're looking down on this cloud inversion, which will be absolutely stunning. If we get those conditions, absolutely fantastic.
Now, Brian here, he'd flown in all the way from Ontario, and I was impressed that he was willing to take on such a brutal hike. But Amanda, she'd flown in from Kimberley, BC, which is a mountain town, so she was used to high altitude, which is totally cheating if you think about it.
Oh, I find that lots of needless grunting helps with the abject misery of this job.
It's very important to keep hydrated on hikes like this. So I insist that my clients keep themselves suitably hydrated.
So we're up inside a cloud right now, and as we get higher, the sun kind of keeps threatening to just poke through these clouds, teasing us a little bit, and it's very frustrating because, oh, there's Uncle. It's frustrating because the light is gorgeous and we're always wishing for these kinds of conditions, but it's difficult to find a subject up in all of this random rock and trees. But if we could find some kind of nice arrangement of trees, this is the kind of fog that we're constantly wishing for, and we've got it. We just don't know what to do with it.
Use this.
Focus on my face. So what do you think, KK? Have we wasted 3,000 calories hiking up this thing just for cloud?
You've wasted 3,000, I've wasted none.
Cheeky sore spot.
But hopefully it clears up for at least sunrise or astro.
Yeah, we've still got sunrise, right?
Where the fuck clear up? I'm still gonna have a tantrum!
How you feeling, Brian?
I don't need CPR yet.
No ass to mouth?
No.
Well, the good news is we are almost half of the way up the mountain. The bad news is we haven't cleared this cloud. So I'm a little bit concerned that we won't get the conditions we're after. We'll hike all the way to the top of a mountain and get clouds. But
That happened the first time we went.
that did happen the first time. So you roll the dice, don't you? Hopefully by the time we get to the summit, we'll be above this. Fingers crossed. Wine gums.
These clients of yours, do you charge them more for this experience?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, the more misery and suffering that they get, the more it costs.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, do you not do that? How are you feeling, Amanda?
Awful.
Awful.
I'm just way too warm.
After an hour of grueling climbing, it was actually quite pleasant to be inside that cloud with all that cooling moisture, and everywhere I looked, there were wildflowers and mist. The perfect combination. I mean, just look at this business. I noticed, however, that Grumpy McGrumperson had begun clowning around. He was in full client poach mode, no shame whatsoever.
Well, as we get higher up the trail, our hopes and expectations get higher, because look at that. Hopefully you can just see that in the frame. Triple Peak and the mountains around it are just poking out of those clouds. And there's even a nice bit of light just on the top of Triple Peak there, so I'm actually quite hopeful that we're going to get that shot. And what we have in the foreground here is lots of really pretty wildflowers, and I'm hoping that at some point I can get a shot that features those in the foreground with Triple Peak in the background. That would be my ultimate, but we'll see what happens when we get to the top. There's probably not that much in the way of wildflowers up on the summit, but rather excited.
I was beginning to wonder, what did Amanda pack into that big red rucksack? I mean, we were only camping one night.
So we've reached Cobalt Lake, which is a bit more than halfway to the summit, and it's a gorgeous, flat, calm mirror surrounded by wildflowers. But Adam was just saying, isn't there a Cobalt Lake up in the Bugaboos? Yeah, there is. There's also one at Mount Arrowsmith. It's got to be the most commonly used name for a lake because of the cobalt blue colour, which we can't really quite see right now, but I bet if we were up higher, we'd be able to see blue.
This really is a magical place, and because of its remoteness and its challenging access, you hardly ever see other hikers. Oh, there he goes again. I know what you're up to, Uncle. Now that's what I love to see. Two ecstatically happy Fototripper clients, clearly having the time of their lives, and you can actually see the exact moment right there where Amanda realised this is the best day of her life. It really is a privilege that I get to share these joyous moments.
Just when our spirit was absolutely on the verge of being broken, we just caught our first glimpses of the hut and the oh so precious Lou. That's what I'm really here for. We're so tired, we're probably just going to tent somewhere near the hut, find a nice flat plateau, camp there, and then if we've got the energy, then hike to the summit and try and get above these clouds for a bit of astro. That is the plan, fingers crossed. So Brian, I've hiked you all the way up this mountain to enjoy this spectacular vista.
My, oh my. My context must be blurry.
Yeah.
I just see fog.
Absolutely.
Adam never would have done this to me. And I carried his tripod and his camera.
What?
That's a lie.
reckon I pitched my tent just in the nick of time because while I was pitching tent, this opened up. Look at that. Triple Peak in all its glory. And just behind me there's some pink clouds. So I reckon there is a very strong chance that we're going to get some absolutely tremendous light. So I better get finished with this, grab my 2 clients and get busy shooting. So the hut up at 5040 sleeps, I think, around 10 people and is one of the best huts I've seen, with solar power and, of course, this spectacular view. Yeah, so that looks like a pretty tremendous shot.
It does.
So
yes.
are you having a good time with your Fototripper experience?
I really am. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit chilly.
Getting cold?
Yeah.
Well, I could give you my jacket.
Me too?
Yeah, do you want that?
Yeah.
Alright. But don't tell Uncle Grumpy. He'll get all pissy about it. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It smells rancid.
Yeah, it does smell a little bit like curry because when I was in the UK, I had nothing but curry for a month. I hope you like turmeric. After helping Brian and Amanda set up their own shots, I only had about 5 minutes to find a shot of my own, but I was quite happy to catch the last blush of pink in those clouds during sunset. I just love how that pink almost matches the wildflowers that you see in the foreground, and of course those wispy clouds around Triple Peak. Well, that was just the icing on this alpine cake. So mate, are you getting any good shots?
No, not really.
Oh.
Light was kind of crap.
It was alright, I still got a quite Juicington shot.
Yeah, but look at that scene. I mean, look at that. Beautiful.
You can't take a...
I have a problem.
Oh, what?
My tent, it won't work.
It's broken. Oh, that's...
I think so. Can I stay with you?
You want to stay in my tent?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, like, you are a paying client. That seems a bit inappropriate.
I think it'll be alright.
I'll tell you what, Amanda. Come and shack up in my bivvy bag with me. I'll keep you warm. Yeah.
Well, my stuff's already way over there.
Well, I mean, you know, as a paying client, it's a little bit unprofessional, you know, a little bit inappropriate.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, what if I just fire you?
I'm fired.
Yeah.
I mean, you have paid in advance, so I guess that could work. But I'll warn you now, I am extremely flatulent.
So am I. So it might be okay.
Oh, well, all right. Let's get stuck in then.
Where am I going?
I don't know.
Thanks for letting me spend the night with you in here. Just getting a little worried.
Are you worried?
Yeah.
Well, not sure why, because there's a 10-bedroom hut 10 feet away. You could have stayed there.
Yeah, but there have been lots of people, and then there are lots of people snoring.
Oh, you don't like snoring?
No.
Oh, well, I think you might have picked the wrong place to sleep tonight, love. You don't want to change your mind? No? Well, you just make yourself comfortable then.
Okay.
Is that a hairdryer?
Yeah,
Well, where do you think you're going to plug that in?
probably into the cabin.
Oh, so you knew about the cabin then? You brought a dressing gown up a mountain.
Yeah, well, it's freezing up here.
And so why did you need to borrow my down jacket then if you brought a dressing gown?
I like the smell of it.
Oh, God. Oh, no, I approve of that. What's that?
Well,
Ah, so that's how you're going to pay for your accommodation tonight.
there's only 5.
I'll let you have one. What's that? Have a look.
Sure.
What the bloody hell is this?
It's a picture. Do you like it?
Well, clearly you didn't watch my digital blending basics Photoshop tutorial. There's a link down below. You should check that out. You should check that out.
What are you going to do with that?
I just sleep with it every night.
Every night?
Yeah. But I guess I don't have to tonight.
I'm just going to get out and go and shoot the Milky Way right now.
Well, I'm not going to lie, that got me a bit flustered. So much so that I completely forgot to stack this shot with multiple exposures in order to reduce the noise and improve image clarity, which is a technique that I always use when shooting Milky Way images that feature zero moonlight. All I could think about was, how was I going to get through this night in that tent?
I think my mattress is broken.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that like? No, I don't think so. You just plug
It's
that.
broken.
Yeah?
Yeah. Can I share your mattress?
You want to share my mattress?
Yeah.
Well, it's barely big enough for one, and I'm pretty much filling all of that space right now.
I feel like I could fit on there.
Okay, then. I'll just put it over on my side. Oh, what's that poking up my bum?
It's just my 70 to 200 millimeter.
Well, you better make sure you keep your bloody lens cap on.
Oh, I will.
What was that? Right, what are you doing? What's going on here?
Oh, I'm freezing.
Amanda, look, I appreciate your interest, right? But we have to keep things professional. I can't very well have my workshop clients and my private tuition clients thinking that this is how we carry on. This is not acceptable. It's inappropriate, okay?
Okay.
But my audience is used to seeing a very serious artist and, above all else, a consummate professional. So let's just keep things above board and put an end to all this kind of inappropriate behaviour. Can we do that?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, thank you.
Should we just get up and shoot the sunrise?
Yeah, let's go and shoot the sunrise and I'll actually try and teach you something. So I'm in the outhouse at 5040, and have you ever seen a better toilet view than this? Let me show you. Well, it's 6:30 a.m. and I do have a face like a bowl of crunchy nut cornflakes. I've had zero sleep. The frogs were so loud last night, it was relentless. There were about, I'm estimating 1,000 frogs all going at it throughout the night non-stop. So I've had, as usual, literally 0 minutes of sleep. Anyway, it's almost sunrise. We're just waiting for a bit of glow to hit Triple Peak across the valley there, because it's already started to hit some of the other ones in the distance, but that's the one that we want to get shots of. So hopefully a little bit of coffee is going to be on offer fairly soon, and then we can get serious about our sunrise shoot. Well, I managed to gag down some black tar-like fluid, which I think was coffee, but it did the trick. I am semi-conscious after my 0 minutes of sleep. So let me talk you through this shot. What I'm trying to do here with this shot, and I'm going to stop down a bit so that you can see what's going on in the sky. This bit of foreground that you see and this top bit of the sky is going to disappear in the finished image. It's probably going to be a 4x2. I'm composing this as a 16:9 right now. I'm not super excited about this foreground, and that's why I'll probably exclude most of it. And I'm hoping that this Triple Peak over there is going to catch some glow. If you can see just in the distance there, that's the lake up at Triple Peak where I camped last summer, and that was the video for the Triple Peak fiasco. I'll put a link to that up there now, and I got a really great astro shot that night. And now I'm on the other side of the valley shooting towards Triple Peak itself. So that lake in the distance is flat calm right now, but this one here, Cobalt Lake, is kind of rough, and we're hoping that it'll calm down and we'll get a bit of reflected light in there. So if these clouds light up, that's what
probably what we'll get reflected in Cobalt Lake. And you can see across here, this dark shadow. Well, that is the shadow of this peak because the sun is rising over in that direction. And when I was here 2 weeks ago, we had an inversion. So there was a huge blanket of cloud in that valley. And the sun wasn't blocked by the cloud that I've got now, and that mountain cast this huge shadow into that inversion, and it looked pretty good. I'll show you the picture now. We didn't get amazing light on Triple Peak, so that's why I've come again to try and get the light that I missed. And you know, as usual, it's just the waiting game, and we'll stand around freezing, starving, and wait and hope to get that shot. Well, I didn't quite get the light that I was hoping for, but I'm still rather delighted with this image. I think what I love about this shot is that it's so typically Vancouver Island. I find that the high alpine regions of the island, well, they have a certain look to them, and they might not be as dramatic and as intense as the Rockies, but you also won't see 10 million photos a year of these magical, misty mountains. Well, it's been a fun adventure here up on Mount 5040, but it has now come to an end because this cloud that's wafted in has pretty much covered all of the peaks, and I think it's time to get down the hill and go home. However, even though I didn't get absolutely killer light and killer shots, was it worth the agonizing hike all the way up here? Yeah. Time for one last attempt by Uncle Grumpy. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning. You weren't kidding about the flatulence, were you?
Sorry about that.
Oh man, that's what that sound was. I could hear it from my bivvy sack.
No, it was the frogs.
It wasn't the frogs. I told you, Amanda, you should have skipped in my bivvy sack last night. Much classier.
Yeah, cheaper, more affordable.
Classier though.
Oh yeah? So what's it like in your bivvy sack then, eh?
Warm and cosy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, Amanda, I've warmed it up now. Much better than that Fototripper crap. Oh, that's cold.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that's over. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, that was rough.
It was rough as assholes.
Yes.
Talking of rough as assholes, have you signed his waiver form yet?
Waiver? What kind of waiver?
Oh yeah, I mean, as a Fototripper client, you are expected to sign a liability waiver and CPR consent.
CPR, like mouth to mouth?
Actually, it's ass to mouth.
No. Wait, who's ass?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to deliver this line. Okay, one more. Okay.
Talking of rough, have you signed his waiver form yet?
Waiver? What kind of waiver?
My liability, yeah. As a client of Fototripper, you are going to have to sign a liability waiver and a CPR consent.
Oh, like mouth to mouth kind of stuff?
Sorry, that was really good, I'm sorry. Alright, start again. Oh, well, I'm glad that's over.
That was rough.
That was rough as assholes.
Hey, talking of rough.
That was rough.
That was rough as assholes.
Hey, so talk about
rough as assholes.
Hey, Brian, talk about as rough.
Alright, but I warn you, I am extremely flatulent. Okay, rolling. So me and him are just chatting about, like, did you get a good shot?
Oh, absolutely crap.
Did you get any on you? You can't be all smiling. You're supposed to be like pissed off a bit.
He's a perfectionist, this guy.
Oh. It's not so easy. Oh. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning. You weren't kidding about the flatulence, were you?
You did such a good job.
You nailed it!
I'm not doing that again.
Oh, that smells horrible.
That's what she said. Yeah.
AAA class, man.
Is that a 70 to 200 in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Where'd that come from?
That's what she said. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning. You weren't kidding.
That's gonna be better.
Yeah, good.
Classier though.
Oh yeah, what's it like your baby
I don't
sack?
have flatulence.